Onam is an annual Indian harvest festival celebrated predominantly by the Hindus of Kerala. A major annual event for Keralites, it is the official festival of the state and includes a spectrum of cultural events. Onam commemorates Vamana and King Mahabali. According to Hindu legends, Onam is celebrated in Kerala in remembrance of the good governance under the rule of Data King Mahabali, a mythical king who once ruled Kerala. The legend holds that jealous of Mahabali's popularity and his power, the Devas and gods conspired to end his reign. They sent Vamana to earth in the form of a dwarf Brahmin who trampled Mahabali to Patala. Vamana asked Mahabali for 3 feet of land as his wish from the generous Mahabali. Since denying gifts to Brahmin is considered a sacrilege, Mahabali agreed to fulfill Vamana's wish. In the first 2 feet Vamana measured the entirety of universe, leaving nowhere to place his 3rd foot. Mahabali offered his own head to place his 3rd feet, making the wish complete. However, witnessing Mahabali's generosity, Vishnu granted the king's sole wish to visit his land and people once every year. This homecoming of Mahabali is celebrated as Onam in Kerala every year. The date of Onam celebration is based on the Panchangam, and falls on the 22nd Nakshatra Thiruvanam in the month Chingam of Malayalam calendar, which in Gregorian calendar falls between August-September. History. The festival probably has ancient origins and it became intricately linked with Hindu legends at some later date. Literary and epigraphical evidence suggests that Onam has a long religious context and history in Kerala and neighbouring parts of South India. The earliest known reference to the word Onam as a celebration is found in Maturik's Sangam era Tamil poem. It mentions a festival called Onam being celebrated in dedication to Maayan in Madurai, when games and duels were held in temple premises, oblations were sent to the temples, people wore new clothes and feasted. The 9th century Pathikas and Palads by Periyazar War describes Onam celebrations and offerings to Vishnu, mentions feasts and community events. An 11th century inscription in the Thirukakara temple dedicated to Vamana, an avatar of Vishnu, mentions a series of offerings made by a votary over 2 days prior and on Thiru Onam. A 12th century inscription in the Tiruvala temple, one of the largest Hindu temples in Kerala dedicated to Vishnu, mentions Onam and states a donation was made to the temple as the Onam festival offering. Udan Das Shastri, a southern Indian Sanskrit poet visiting the court of the Zamarin, has written about a festival called Ravat. It is presumed that this verse is about the festival of Onam, as the word Onam is the Tamil/Malayalam form of the Ravannakshatram mentioned in Indian astronomy. Gangs of lads, playing their bows, hoot loudly again and again, all women make their husbands provide wealth and pleasure, all men are wandering hither and thither to present beautiful garments to their women. The festivity of Sravana takes place in Kerala. A 16th century European memoir describes Onam. It mentions among other things that Onam is always celebrated in September. The Malayala people adorn their homes with flowers and daub them over with cow's dung, believing its auspicious association with goddess Lakshmi. According to Kurup, Onam has been historically a Hindu temple-based community festival celebrated over a period of many days. Significance. Onam is an ancient Hindu festival of Kerala that celebrates rice harvest. The significance of the festival is in Indian culture, of which 2 are more common: Mahabali and Vamana. According to Hindu mythology, Mahabali was the great-great-grandson of a Brahmin sage named Kashyapa, the great-grandson of a demonic dictator, Hiranyakashipu, and the grandson of Vishnu devotee Prahlada. This links the festival to the Puranic story of Prahlada of Holika fame in Hinduism, who was the son of Hiranyakashipu. Prahlada, despite being born to a demonic Asura father who hated Vishnu, rebelled against his father's persecution of people and worshipped Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu tries to kill his son Prahlada, but is slain by Vishnu in his Narasimha avatar. Prahlada is saved. Prahlada's grandson, Mahabali, came to power by defeating the gods and taking over the 3 worlds. According to Vaishnavism, the defeated Devas approached Vishnu for help in their battle with Mahabali. Vishnu refused to join the gods in violence against Mahabali because Mahabali was a good ruler and his own devotee. Mahabali, after his victory over the gods, declared that he would perform a yajna and grant anyone any request during the yajna. Vishnu took the avatar his fifth of a dwarf monk called Vamana and approached Mahabali. The king offered anything to the boy: gold, cows, elephants, villages, food, whatever he wished. The boy said that one must not seek more than one needs, and all he needed was 3 paces of land. Mahabali agreed. Vamana grew to an enormous size and covered everything Mahabali ruled over in just 2 paces. For the 3rd pace, Mahabali offered his head for Vishnu to step on, an act that Vishnu accepted as evidence of Mahabali's devotion. Vishnu granted him a boon, by which Mahabali could visit again, once every year, the lands and people he previously ruled. This revisit marks the festival of Onam, as a reminder of the virtuous rule and his humility in keeping his promise before Vishnu. The last day of Mahabali's stay is remembered with a 9-course vegetarian Onasadya feast. The name Thirukakara is originated from Thirukalkaram, meaning place of the holy foot. The main deity at Thirukakara temple is Vamana, the smaller temple to the side has Shiva as the deity. Vamana temple is known as Vadakamdavar and the Shiva temple is known as Tekamdavar. A number of subsidiary deities have been installed at Thirukakara temple. The 1961 census report on Onam festival states though the Vamana temple is accepted as the main temple at the elite level, the local people consider the Shiva temple as the more important one. They believe that Shiva was the Kuladaivam of Mahabali and that there was no Vamana temple at that time. The palace of Mahabali was situated at the place where the Vamana temple is at present. After the fall of Mahabali, his palace was destroyed and later on Vamana was installed on that spot by the saint Kapila. According to Nandatha Krishna, a simpler form of this legend, one without Mahabali, is found in the Rigveda and the Vedic text Shatapatha Brahmana, where a solar deity is described with powers of Vishnu. This story likely grew over time, and is in part allegorical, where Bali is a metaphor for thanksgiving offering after a bounty of rice harvest during monsoon, and Vishnu is the metaphor of the Kerala sun and summer that precedes the Onam. According to Roshan Dalal, the story of Mahabali is important to Onam in Kerala, but similar Mahabali legends are significant in the region of Balia and Bawan in Uttar Pradesh, Bharuch in Gujarat, and Mahabaleshwar in Maharashtra. The story is significant not because Mahabali's rule ended, but it emphasizes the Hindu belief in cyclical nature of events, that no individual, no ruler and nothing lasts forever, except the virtues and self-understanding that overcomes all sorrow. Parashurama. An alternate tale behind Onam relates to Parashurama, an incarnation of Vishnu who is credited in Hinduism to have created the western Ghats from the southern tip of Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, and up to Maharashtra. According to this legend, Vishnu got upset with the kings and the warrior caste who were constantly at war and were arrogant over others. Vishnu took the avatar of Parashurama, or Rama with an axe and also known as Rama Jamadagana, in the era of King Kartavirya. This king persecuted and oppressed the people, the sages, and the gods. One day, the king came to the hermitage of Parashurama and his mother Renuka, where while Parashurama was away, the king without permission took away the calf of their cow. When Parashurama returned, he felt the injustice of the king, called him to war, and killed the king and all his oppressive warriors. At the end, he threw the axe, and wherever it fell, the sea retreated, creating the land of Kerala and other coastal western parts of the Indian subcontinent. Another version states that Parashurama brought Nambudiri Brahmins to southwestern parts of India, by creating a mini Himalaya-like mountain range with his axe. The Onam festival, according to this legend, celebrates Parashurama's creation of Kerala by marking those days as the new year. The legend and worship of Parashurama is attested in texts and epigraphs dated to about the 2nd century CE. Cultural festival. Onam is a popular major Hindu festival in Kerala, states Christine Frost, but one that is also celebrated by other communities with much zest alongside Hindus. The festival is celebrated in Bex in Trivandrum with local rituals, according to Latin Catholic Bishop Sylvester Ponnumathan. These traditions, according to Sylvester Ponnumathan, start with the lighting of Nilavalaku, an arati that includes waving of flowers over the Bible, eating the Onam meal together with the Hindus as a form of communion of brothers and sisters of different faiths. The significance of these practices are viewed by Bex in Trivandrum as a form of integration with Hindus, mutual respect, and sharing a tradition. Paulinus of St. Bartholomew, in his A Voyage to the East Indies, describes Onam as the fourth grand festival, celebrated in Malayala, is called Onam, and happens always in the month of September, on the day of new moon. About the 10th of September the rain ceases in Malabar. All nature seems as if regenerated, the flowers again shoot up, and the trees bloom. In a word, this season is the same as that which Europeans call spring. This festival seems, therefore, to have been instituted for the purpose of soliciting from the gods a happy and fruitful year. It continues 8 days, and during that time the Indians are accustomed to adorn their houses with flowers and daub them over with cow's dung, because the cow, as already observed, is a sacred animal dedicated to the goddess Lakshmi, the Ceres of the Indians. On this occasion they also put on new clothes, throw aside all their old earthenware and supply its place by new. The men, particularly those who are young, form themselves into 2 parties and shoot at each other with arrows. These arrows are blunted, but exceedingly strong, and are discharged with such force, that a considerable number are generally wounded on both sides. These games have a great likeness to the Cyralia and Juvenalia of the ancient Greeks and Romans. According to P.S. Salani, a research scholar in Islamic studies, most Muslims join the festivities with their friends and celebrate Hindu festivals such as Onam. According to a 2001 chapter by Filippo Osella and Caroline Osella, both Hindus and non-Hindus have celebrated Onam equally as a time when the unity of the family and kin group is particularly emphasized. In another 2008 paper, Osella and Osella state that Onam is not celebrated by Muslims, and the Muslims who do prepare an Onam feast have an air of a daring secret. Muslim reformists have called on other Muslims to refrain from taking part in the festival. For example, a Kerala-based Salaf preacher has called Onam as haram. In 2019, another Muslim religious speaker caused controversy over his statement that Muslims should not celebrate the festivals of other religions like Onam. Some Muslim Indian politicians light traditional vilaku, while others have refused to light these lamps at Onam events, declaring it to be a Hindu tradition and against the teachings of Islam. Muslim daily newspapers and other publications have condemned Muslim ministers who participate in Onam traditions. However, some Muslims observe Onam anyway, considering its celebrations and rituals as a cultural practice. According to Riddhi A. Lukos, Onam is a Hindu festival, one that is culturally inclusive within the secular lexicon of Hinduism. In recent years, however, it has undertaken a political tone. In one case, students group affiliated with Hindu nationalism in Kerala objected when a Muslim played the role of Mahabali. They protested against the local organizer when alternate Hindus are available to play that role. According to Lukos, this incident shows how the cultural figure of King Mahabali, understood as Hindu, tolerant and inclusive, into an exclusively Hindu one. Celebrations, rituals, and practices. Onam falls in the month of Chingam, which is the first month according to the Malayalam calendar. The celebrations mark the Malayalam New Year, are spread over 10 days, and conclude with Thiruvanam. The 10 days are sequentially known as Atham, Chithira, Kadi, Vishakam, Anasham, Thrikta, Mulam, Puradam, Uthradam, and Thiruvanam. The first and the last day are particularly important in Kerala and to Malayali communities elsewhere. The Atham day is marked with the start of festivities at Vamanamurthy Thirukakara temple. This Vishnu temple is considered as the focal center of Onam and the abode of Mahabali, with the raising of the festival flag. Parades are held, which are colorful and depict the elements of Kerala culture with floats and tableaus. Other days have a diverse range of celebrations and activities ranging from boat races, cultural programs, sports competitions, dance events, martial arts, floral rangoli pukalam, prayers, shopping, donating time or food for charity to spending time with family over feasts. Men and women wear traditional dress. The Kerala sari or Kasavu sari is particularly wore on this day. I athakamayam/I. None. I pukalam/I. None. Music and dance. Traditional dance forms including Thiruvathara, Kumadakali, Pulikali, Thumbai Tholal, Onam Kali, and others. Thiruvathara Kali is a women's dance performed in a circle around a lamp. Kumadakali is a colorful mask dance. In Thrissur, festivities include a procession consisting of caparisoned elephants surrounded by Kumadakali dancers. The masked dancers go from house to house performing the colorful Kumadakali. Onam Kali is a form of dance where players arrange themselves in circles around a pole or tree or lamp, then dance and sing songs derived from the Ramayana and other epics. Kathakali dance is also commonly performed during this time, with dancers enacting characters from the various ancient Indian legends. A famous venue for this is at Valuvanad, which is associated with the growth of Kathakali, and Cheruthuruthi, where Kerala Kalamandalam is located. I Pulikali/I, tiger dance. None. I Valamkalai/I, boat race. None. I Onam Sadhya/I. None. Post-Onam celebrations. Normally, the largest chunk of Onam celebrations ends by Thiruvanam. However, the 2 days following Thiruvanam are also celebrated as third and fourth Onam. The third Onam, called Avidam, marks the preparations for King Mahabali's return ascension to heavens. The main ritual of the day is to take the Onathapan statue, which was placed in the middle of every pukalam during the past 10 days, and immerse it in nearby rivers or sea. The pukalam will be cleaned and removed after this ritual. Other customs. People buy and wear new clothes for the occasion of Onam, called Onak Kodi. During the Onam, Keralite Hindus install an image of Thirukakara Appan or Onathapan in their home, just as Hindus install images or murtis of Lord Ganesha on the Ganesha Chaturthi festival elsewhere. Many lamps are lit in Hindu temples of Kerala during this celebration. A palmyra tree is erected in front of temples and surrounded by a wooden balustrade and covered with dry palmyra leaves. It is lit with a torch and burned to ashes to signify that King Mahabali went to Patala as a sacrifice. The swing is another integral part of Onam, especially in rural areas. Young men and women, decked in their best, sing Onapayat, or Onam songs, and rock one another on swings slung from high branches. Onam season is often associated with creativity as weavers and potters go for excess production to cater to increased demands for their products during the season, especially in the North Kerala regions of Kannur and Kasaragod. Handloom fairs are an integral part of the spirit of Onam festivities these days. In some parts of Kerala, people indulge in various games and dances during and post Thiruvanam. These are known as Onakalikal. These include competitions such as ox races, uriyadi, food eating competitions, pukalam competitions etc. In a special month, caravans of Travancore use Onam as a day for offering thanks to their ancestral spirits. On Uthradam Day, they offer liquor, rice cakes, flattened and parched rice, incense, camphor, etc. to the spirits. The ritual ends with a request to the spirits to be satisfied with their offerings and assured that the next attempt would be better. Then an appeal is made to protect the believers and to ward off evil spirits from their area. This ritual is locally known as Kale Am Vaikal. A similar offering like this is done during Makaram harvest, known as Achara.